Dead End Hip Hop album review, Grip, Snubnose. Before we get into the review, make sure you check out the Dead End Podcast Network, man. We're adding new shows, but the two main shows that we're a part of is the Myke Stallone. I know a lot of you guys have been asking us about No Name and her comments and everything that's happening with that. If you go there, you'll be able to hear our thoughts and our conversation on that particular topic. Also, make sure you check out Frames Per Second. So all of your favorite TV shows, all of your favorite movies, we get to talk about it on there. So make sure you subscribe. And also just look for everything Dead End Studios, Dead End Podcast Network. We got hella shows. We cover everything. So just make sure you go support your boys on that side. Back to Grip, Snubnose. So this, I never heard of this guy before, but about 2, maybe 4 weeks ago, sometime in between that, B was like, "Hey nigga, you heard about this nigga Grip, Snubnose?" I'm like, "Nah, nigga, I never heard that." And as soon as I listened to it, motherfucker had my ear like this, like real instant. But the crazy part about it is when you listen to the project, like He Is, I Am is completely different from everything else on this album, right? Not from a content perspective, but sonically. You know what I'm saying? It sounds very gospel-y, it's uplifting. You hear the young voices singing, which is super dope. Like that beat switch up is amazing. And also I think Grip did an amazing job of just executing the fucking concept, because a lot of times we review albums that have a concept but it's very loose or they just don't tie it in. And Grip did an amazing job. Like from that second part of He Is, I Am, those beats, like pretty much throughout the rest of the project, sounded so ominous, so you knew that it was leading up to something. Like every song kind of like I felt like was building up to something else. So when you get all the way to the end, and it's one of those projects that just restarts. You know what I'm saying? So when you're listening to it, and you know, I guess some people have it where the album will end, but I have it where it'll just keep looping. You know what I'm saying? It'll loop the project. So when it happened, I was like, holy shit, this dude Grip, man, this motherfucker. And then he from Atlanta. Like nothing about this project screams ATL, like not at all. You know what I'm saying?
Some stuff do. I mean,
not ATL. ATL.
No, ATL ho. Yeah, I get you. Yams and Lou. Y'all don't think that's Atlanta?
Nah, it don't sound like Atlanta.
Really?
It don't sound like Atlanta.
The one that gave me an Atlanta vibe was Pressed. And the way they did the hook,
Pressure come,
that sounds like some Atlanta shit.
Is it really though?
Yeah, well, when I used to go out in the streets, and when I used to go out to like a lot of the not the indie underground scene, but that bubbling mainstream wannabe underground scene. Those are the type of hooks that they would do. And that's where, like, I kept trying to think of a reference that people would know, but I can't think of any. I couldn't think of any. But I was like, okay, it's giving me that vibe when I used to, like, when everybody was trying to get on. This was 5 years ago or so when K-Camp and C.I. the Kid and stuff like that were trying to make their way up. But that's why I got that vibe. And plus that singer, man, not Atlanta vibes, but she definitely gave me like, sounded like some 80s R&B soul when she came on.
It was just one point you had made. I was like, yeah, I kind of heard it in it was just like hearing little hints here and there. That's why I said like on Yam's interlude and like that the fact he had Big Rube. But no, he doesn't sound like he's like, you're right. Like he doesn't sound like, oh, this dude is from Atlanta, East Atlanta. Like no, kind of like how Jid, yeah, like Jid doesn't always sound like he's from Atlanta. But it's hints in there with him sometimes too, from his accent.
You know what I find interesting?
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You know what I find interesting about Jid and I guess him, and I don't know, Myke, you may remember the 2-9. Remember 2-9 and that whole?
Him, shit.
I don't know, 2-9 Curtis Williams. There was also another duo. It's like there was a whole movement that was going on back then that kind of died off, but it sounds like this is like remnants of that era, and they just kind of picked up on that.
They were calling it like the new Atlanta.
We did a video on it.
Right. Yep.
Yep.
This dude doesn't sound like Atlanta at all. And I think that that's actually really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they're pushing this narrative of Atlanta does not have a singular sound anymore.
If you let the mainstream tell it, and obviously I know there's a crap ton of underground artists in Atlanta that don't get any type of shine or pub or stuff like that. That doesn't sound prototypical Atlanta, but this guy is somebody that sounds accessible that doesn't sound like Atlanta, which is really dope. And I don't know that there's many people in his space, like where Ken was talking about, right? Like that bubbling part where, you know, maybe they can cross over, that sounds like that. I think the closest was Jid, but then boom, Jid already crossed over. And I think Earth Gang was kind of there, but Earth Gang always sounded Atlanta,
Yeah,
just
Earth
their
Gang sounds
version of
like
it.
a weird version of Atlanta.
Exactly. But for Grip to not really pull anything outside of him just dropping those hints, you know, from East Decatur to College Park, you know, like those lines like that, or even like I said before, like on Swiss Cheese, how he took the Get Your Roll On and just flipped it.
Yeah, that was
you know what I'm
tight.
saying?
I like
That's super dope. So like you get the hints that he's from the South, but if you've never listened to that music or you don't even know about Atlanta, it will go over your head.
It would sound original to you.
Exactly, it would sound original to you, and I think that Grip did an amazing job with that.
The thing I loved about this album is easily, for one, is the storytelling ability. The storytelling ability was like amazing.
Right from the beginning.
You love projects, especially someone that you never heard of before. It's like, man, this is a nicely well thought out project. How he kind of used, not even just like a Snubnose, you know, but like just a gun in general. How he kind of inserted in like personal situations.
Yep.
Like the song Tech, how you know dude get jumped at a club. What's going to happen most of the time? He gonna start shooting once he get in the parking lot.
Yep.
Like it's just like it was amazing how he just kind of insert little like reality stuff, like fictional tales, but in kind of like reality situations. It's like, damn, this shit was so dope. And Say Cheese was dope. Finessing with Mick Jenkins
That was crazy.
fucking dope as hell. Like
Yeah.
even the hooks was just fucking crazy as fuck.
Like even that's like not weird collab, but you wouldn't expect that. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. I was like,
he's
damn,
like
it's
Mick
like, oh, here we
Jenkins.
go.
I had to look. I was like, wait a minute, that's Mick
Mick
Jenkins.
Jenkins
Yeah, I
ripping that shit, man.
yeah.
And Menace and Niggonomics was so fucking dope too.
Yes.
It was how-
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, those
it
different
was dope.
situations of using it as armed robbery and just for trouble. I'm just like, God damn, this shit is just like so well thought out.
Nah, it is.
It's
Yeah.
so well thought out. That's why I think that's one thing I really loved right off the first listen was like, damn, this shit is so fucking well thought out and so just to the point, man. And it's not super long either.
It's not.
Which was dope as hell. And I'm still looking like who did the production on this because the beats on here was just it matched the whole mood of the album.
Yeah,
The production was great.
It was so great. If he got like just like some unknown dudes, they did a great job.
He's clever. He can rap.
Yep.
He like what I like about him a lot is he has a whole lot of different flows, and it's like his approach on every fucking song is different.
Yeah.
Totally different.
His pacing on tracks is really cool.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was interesting. Like it's not just like flow. He'll switch it up. He might pause and then he'll speed it up on a certain part. Kind of like Schoolboy Q is sometimes, like how he's able to do that on albums. This dude is talented as hell, man.
It's a good variety. It's
Yeah,
a good variety.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I noticed. Like you don't get bored or you can't get locked into a certain thing that he's doing, and that's hard to do. That's
It's really
hard,
hard to do.
to pull off. And like you said, going back to the intro, I was like, it was jolting when it kind of went to that second part, and I was like, oh shit, like it just kind of caught me off guard. And then Snub Speaks came on, and you know these different, I guess, personalities or characters that he's rapping on this album, I thought were really dope. I think the one that stood out for me was No Info, and I think that was the one where he said, "White man, set up your businesses, tape black music and sell it back to us," and then so on and so on. I was like, damn, and I like that message is putting out there. It's just kind of buried like in the end of that song. I think it was No Info. I may be wrong on that. Y'all correct me if I am. But it just stood out to me when I heard it, and I was like, damn, that's dope, because that's something that we do need to pay more attention to. But overall, man, like I was mad you didn't even hit me up about this shit.
It's funny. I found it before we said we was gonna review it because we share the Daddy and Hip Hop Spotify, and I think sometimes it shows like music played.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is this grip thing or whatever? And I figured it was either you or you because I think y'all stand it the most. And I played it just off of that.
Really?
And I was just like, yeah,
Wow.
I just
and once you
happened
saw it being played, like, let me
I
listen
was
to
like,
myself.
wait, because you had something else in Spotify that I played before. I was like, let me see what B was listening to. And I did the same thing with this grip. Yeah. I don't know, I figured it was dope because, I mean, yeah.
Real quick, somebody here was talking about the song Tech. but
Yeah,
did not mention Armani White.
Oh yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Never heard this dude.
Yeah.
Never
Man.
even heard his name.
Yeah.
But he was so fucking dope. He was so fucking dope. And now I'm just like, who is this guy? Like him and the Bishop.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Bishop's
Oh,
dope as
Ice Cold
shit too.
Blood?
Ice Cold. No, it was I thought it was Ice Cold Bishop.
Ice Cold Bishop.
Oh, Ice Cold Bishop. It's
Yeah.
cut off. My bad.
Yeah, Ice Cold Bishop. Him and Armani White were just fucking incredible. Like damn near every feature on here. I mean, Big Group didn't rap. That's okay.
He's always
But
perfect.
he did his
was
thing.
perfect.
He added
Yeah.
to it.
He said
did his
226
thing.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Armani White, I need to go find other shit because his verse where he said something, it was something about a library, and he said they brought him an offer and they turned into an author and booked his ass. I was like, damn, that's cold.
Cold ass scheme.
That's cold as fuck.
Chester.
And it was like
Yeah.
right, I think his verse was after Grip's verse, and it was like their chemistry was just so on
Yeah.
point. But now I need to go back and check out his other album, Porch. I haven't had a
Yeah,
chance.
too.
yet.
Yeah, I
Has
added
anybody
it.
done that yet?
I added it, but I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, I hadn't had a
I
chance.
need-
It's definitely on my list.
See that he had that album out.
'Cause I've heard-
2017, right? Came out
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
2017.
because I heard that's a great storytelling.
Really?
Yeah, I
I
heard
get
that.
lost about Atlanta porches, like
Yeah.
southern black porches where
So-
so much shit goes down on the porch.
I like
So I need to go check it out. But
like
I'm
it.
kind of wondering if it's like, is there a crew that we're just not aware of?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, how does a guy like this in our city go unnoticed?
Go
We don't
ahead.
have our ear to the streets like we think we do. Clearly.
I know.
No, I know. Yeah,
We
I
just
don't.
don't.
But still,
I mean, I'm used to y'all not knowing shit. I'm surprised.
But-
I don't know nothing.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
I don't know no shit.
But do you think
You
a
know
guy
what I'm
like him
saying?
would pop up at the shows that you go to?
No, I don't think he would pop up, but I think somebody would have mentioned him. Like, I think at the indie rap shows that I go to, I would hear somebody talking about this guy. Even if it's not at a show, I figured I would see it on Facebook or something.
Well,
Right.
how long has he been on the scene though? 'Cause,
If
I
it's
mean,
been from 2017,
Yeah,
not very long though.
it's 2 years.
That's 2 years. We should have heard something.
Someone that's
Sometimes-
this good in the indie rap scene in Atlanta,
How
their
long
name
did
would
it
have
take
popped
Jim?
up.
How long did it take Jim? Jim had been out for a long time before
But
he.
that's another example.
Yeah,
That's another, that
right.
goes to the point.
Yeah.
But while we don't have our ear to the street like that, we do know other artists though, like Jack Preston and people that I'm sure none of our fans know about. We do know some artists. I mean, you can even throw y'all mean in there.
Man,
really.
you ain't gotta defend that in. I'm just
No,
saying
no,
that
not
we
defending.
clearly don't have our ear to the streets like we think we do because this guy, it's not like he was a nobody until this album. He
Right.
was buzzing off Porch.
Yeah.
But he didn't make it to our radar. That's all I'm saying.
No,
And nobody
absolutely.
even hit us up. Like, John
Right.
was the one. Think about if John never mentioned this guy.
We
Exactly.
We still would not
know
listen to
about
him.
Grip.
No, we had people hit us up on Twitter about it and said, "Yo, y'all need to listen to it. I want to hear what you got to say." But you know how that goes.
But you know, that's,
Yeah,
that's
right.
tongue in cheek, right?
That's
now.
usually telling us don't listen to the album.
right. Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, like Yo, I'm pretty sure Yo's familiar with him.
Yo
because he-
interviewed him.
So why didn't I might have to holler at you,
Right.
Because Yo normally would, yo, you need to check out this.
I thought he mentioned him before, but maybe I'm missing.
He may have,
Maybe to you.
and I'm gonna text him and ask him like, why didn't you
Maybe
say
they
anything
can,
about
right.
this? Because he always has his ear to the streets.
Yeah.
So if we don't necessarily hear it for ourselves by being out, somebody in the industry that we are affiliated with should at least say, yo, y'all need to.
Yeah, we ain't gotta be out to hear about
Yeah.
some shit. There's electronic devices these days.
Right.
This shit did not pop up.
Not at all.
It didn't pop up until Ja said something. And it was after Ja said something, then I started seeing I was getting tweets about it.
Because this is the type of album that definitely needs a review, and this is the type of artist that needs that type of publicity and that type of shine.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's too fucking talented to not make nobody's radar at all. Like, that's crazy.
You know whose radar he did make, which was really funny and bizarre to me? Ebro.
Yeah.
Ebro,
Really?
yes. Ebro posted and was like, yo, this is one of the best projects that you've never heard of. I think there's a scene that we don't know nothing about. Like, there's a fucking dark web. I'm not even making a joke.
Yeah.
I think so. I think there's a dark web of Atlanta rap that we don't know anything about. I'm
That's
gonna
why
find
we need
out
to
though.
interview him, man. That's why we need to figure out.
I don't even think he can tell us this, man. I think
How if he part of the dark web?
he might not be a part of it. He might be making music, and these weird fans are just grabbing this shit.
I would think that, but you said the crew. You remember earlier you said like, is
I
the
said
crew-
him and the other rappers. Though.
Oh,
Not-
that's right. You
Not
did
the
say that.
audience.
I got you.
I was wondering if this is another Illmont. Or if
Got you.
this is another.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I
Yeah.
got you.
You know, when you're talking about the cycle of it starting over, like the last line or like close to the last line on the album, he's talking about spending his money. He says, I spent my last couple hundred on a Nike shoe. It's like if you can relate, then you're part of the cycle too. And it seems like it rolls right into that part where the kid is like, oh, let me see the gun. It's not loaded. Bow. And then you're saying it starts right back over. And I assume that was intentional, but this dude is way too creative and talented for nobody to be talking about him like that.
The reason why I mentioned like the light singing voices and it sounded very gospely because it's like that. It almost sounds like that kid went to heaven, and then this is where where we're starting off this project, and then immediately on the second part of that song it goes to the dark ominous shit.
Because even in the beginning he said y'all want to see my Uncle Gun, but you don't know.
You don't know
what happened afterwards until the album ends.
I didn't get the
'Cause you
heavy
hear-
feel. I just got the feeling of these are kids, and he's trying to force the idea of this is a very kidsy thing for these kids to be doing. I didn't connect the heaven part.
You start out innocent, you know, childlike, you know, I guess heavenly, and then life hits you.
Yep.
And then depending on what happens in your life, it can take a dark turn and go elsewhere. So in a whole other direction. So that's kind of what I got. All right, so my favorite tracks on here, Snub Speaks, Finessing, Swiss Cheese, Menace, Niggonomics, and No Info.
He is, I am, Snub Speaks, Finessing, 226, Swiss Cheese, Menace, Niggonomics.
Exactly.
And give me Open Arms because I love how it closes.
Finessing, 226, Swiss Cheese, Tech, and Menace Niggonomics.
I love how it opens up. He is, I am, Swiss Cheese, Tech, Menace Niggonomics, and Open Arms.
Yeah, I think that's kind of mine. Finessing, Tech, Niggonomics. Actually, I'm gonna have to go Bishop Speaks.
I forgot that one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go Open Arms too because I really like the way it ended.
Grip, if you watching, this first time I ever heard about you, bro. And that's kind of sad because you are really fucking dope. And I haven't gone back to listen to the other projects yet because I just wanted to focus on this one. Because if you're this dope here, I'm pretty sure you've been dope for a little bit. And I didn't want that shit to sway nothing I had to say about this project. So I'm definitely going to go back and listen. But man, like, you know, and I'm the one that always jumps off the ledge a little bit and I say some crazy shit. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. But this album really gave me a feel of like something that Kendrick would do. And I think that's very high praise. Because just again how you loop the album, how you're just able to go through and execute the concept. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of artists are that skillful to be able to pull that off, and you pulled it off flawlessly. So I got to give you mad props for that, man.
Grip, yeah, this is my first time hearing about you as well, and Ashley was trying to do a quick check to make sure nobody sent this to us over the last 2 years, because that can happen, and it just gets buried in the inbox because of everything else that we're doing. But yeah, man, for you to be in Atlanta, for us to be here, is you know, the fact that we haven't heard of you, I don't know why, because you're extremely talented. You dropped the project in 2017. I haven't heard it. Same as Feefo, but I definitely want to go back and listen. But I would think that we would have by now. But nevertheless, we're here today talking about Snubnose, and this is a very, very great project. And I think you're extremely talented. And you know, I hope you are successful. And that's it, man. Just keep putting out dope work and keep working on your craft.
Thank you for putting together this project, man. This was definitely dope. And just like what Feefo said, it's my first time. It's my introduction to your work. I'm gonna definitely check out Porch. I think that's the last one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna definitely check out Porch and see what storytelling ability you have on that album, which I've heard, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna definitely check it out. But on this project, well thought out, great job. You have a new fan in me.
What's up, man? Just ditto basically what everybody else saying, especially what Feefo was saying. I did have that sentiment of how we were when Kendrick came out or whatnot. Not saying that you're biting Kendrick or anything like that. It's just, you know, you're just as talented as Kendrick. I did get that vibe of how, you know, Kendrick could put albums together really well. I think you do the same thing. So I do want to point that out. I just want to, you know, put an invite out there. You know, like we definitely, before you blow up, bro, just want to get you on the show to just kind of share some of your thoughts about, you know, this album, you know, what got you to this place, you know, what inspires this, you know what I'm saying, being from Atlanta, because like everyone said, you don't sound like the typical Atlanta artist, so, you know, we can appreciate that. And yeah, man, just want to, you know, extend that invite for you to come on the show and we talk about some things with you, man.
Great album. I think you did an amazing job. I definitely see you getting a lot bigger than you are. But yeah, this is definitely one of the better projects I've heard this year, so I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I think it's a crime that we're in the same city and we're just now hearing your name. So definitely gonna be watching you very closely from here out.